Hi everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada. I want to show you today how I made this pretty card that I shared as part of the Technique Tuesday blog hop, and the theme this week was coloring techniques. I love using the color resist technique to give a background image to a card. And so I want to show you how I made that. So let me switch over to my desktop and we'll get started. Okay, so here's the card I shared. I've used the Fresh Freesia, which is one of the new in colors. It's actually showing a little pinkier than it actually is. It's more of a lilac color. Um, then what I've used is, so for this piece that is, this is in the Fresh Freesia with the flowers on it, I've actually stamped it using Versamark and then embossed it using the clear embossing powder. And then I've gone over and colored it using one of the blending brushes. You can use sponges, you can use sponge daubers, but I'm in love with these new blending brushes from Stampin' Up! So these are fine, fine bristles. And if I wasn't quite so lazy, I would wash this out and this red color would actually come out when wash it, and it would look almost brand new. I need to get it down to the sink. So what you want to do for this card, oh, the other thing, so here's, let me bring this in. I've used the color and contour stamp sets, so you can actually stamp and then color. It's two-step stamping, both of these images as well as this bud. But I'm using this color resist technique, and I love these sentiments and the combination of the fonts that they have. I've also, this bundle comes with these amazing rectangle, scallop rectangle dies, all have different edges to them, and I'm using this largest one that has this scalloped open edge to it. These, you can use these together, so you can use, one slightly bigger than the other to create a layer effect. You can also layer these work perfectly with our rectangle, layering rectangle dies. So something you probably already have in your supplies that you can coordinate with these. I've also used the tailor-made tags. That's how I've created this stitch tag. I've cut that out of basic white and stamped on it. These are amazing tags. And I love this little, we used to call these, maybe they're still called, reinforcements that you used to put on your, the holes on your loose leaf. I'm showing my age. Loose leaf in your binders so that the holes wouldn't rip open. And so you could actually make your own reinforcements with these, depending on whether it has the round circle for the hole or these more oval shaped. Really cool. All right, let's get started. So I've got a piece, and I've actually gone ahead and adhered this. So I've got a piece of the Fresh Freesia cardstock that is cut 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And it is folded in half. And then I've cut a piece of basic white cardstock that is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I've just adhered that down. So the next thing you want to do is to take your Versamark, and I'm actually just going to bring in my silicone mat is a great tool to have. So what you want to do is just stamp randomly. Now you're not going to be able to see where I stamp until I actually, it will come alive once I've started to color over this with my blending brush. But for now, I'm just randomly stamping flowers on this piece. Now, this piece will also be cut smaller, but I'm using a little bit bigger piece just, and then I'll, right, let's see, I think I've got enough. Now, I want to take this out of the way. I'm going to bring in just a piece of some grid paper, and I'm going to take the clear embossing powder. Now, Stampin' Up! Has combined their embossing powder, so there are 2 different packages now, and they contain, I think it's either the metallics or the basics. So the clear one, I believe, comes with black, and I'm not sure what other color, and then the metallics come with gold, silver, and I think copper. So I don't have those yet. I haven't been able to order them because the catalog only goes live on the 5th of May, so I don't have them, so I'm using my old supply of clear embossing powder. All right, so I've got these embossed, and you can kind of see how all the different ones I've got. And now, and apologies for the noise, if this is loud, I'll try and talk loud over top of it. Now it's a matter of embossing. So when you emboss, you want to hold your heat tool, try not to burn your finger, over top of the image, where the powder is, until it starts to melt, and you will see it go shiny. And then you can start to move your heat tool around. And once it has started to heat up, it definitely it goes quickly, so it doesn't take too long. All right. Getting there. Definitely don't want to burn your fingers while you're doing this. One more. Oops. Okay. Get rid of that noisy thing. So once you have seen it is all shiny, so you can kind of see the shine on mine. So it loses its matte finish and goes shiny, you are done. So you just want to let that cool for a few seconds. Now I'm going to bring in my Fresh Freesia ink pad and my blending brush. And so you pick up this, and I try to start off the edge and just start adding color. And you can, I don't know which is the best way. Sometimes I go up and down, and sometimes I blend in circles. And you will have to kind of keep going over it until you get the shade that you want. But you can see the flowers start to pop off the page. Part of the reason I make this bigger than it needs to be, and part of the reason is when you're doing the blending brushes, I find that when you're trying to hold on to this with your fingers, you can get fingerprints on the edges. And so just by having it bigger, you give yourself some space so that you can trim those off. Now you can keep going over this until you get it to the kind of shade that you want, or the evenness. Try not to. There, I think I'm done there. You will get your fingers a little bit inky. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And my large, this is the color and contour, the scallop contour die. And this is the one with the holes. So I'm just going to, so you do have to make sure you've got a piece of cardstock that is big enough to, for that die. Ooh, loud. Okay. There. Get that out of the way. Pop. holes out. There. Isn't that pretty? All right, so now this can go down, and I'm going to just use dimensionals on the back of this just to pop it up a little bit. My little backs off. And then this can go onto your card front like that. All right, now onto the tag. So this is the tag that I want to make, and again, I've used the tailor-made tags dies. Now I can use I had a piece of cardstock, basic white cardstock somewhere. Okay. I'll have to go get another piece of cardstock because I have lost my cardstock. Okay, here's a piece of cardstock. Now, I need to cut this out, so we're going to bring back this. Should have done it all at once, but I didn't think of that. So you're just going to cut out the tag from that. Right. So there's my tag cut out, and then the other thing that I want to do is cut out from this piece of fresh freesia. I'm going to cut out the little reinforcements. So you do get 3. I only need one. You could use 2. You could put one on the front and one on the back if you wanted to, but because the back isn't going to show my die. And then these are the little tiny reinforcements. Put those down there. Okay. Bring these back in their position so I don't lose them. So on your tag, I find that the multi-purpose adhesive glue works best, but before we actually adhere things on, using the memento, I'm going to stamp my sentiment. It says thank you for everything in the middle, like that. And then I'm going to use the fresh freesia, and I'm just going to stamp, and I'm going to stamp off so that it's not quite so dark. I'm just going to stamp just a couple of flowers, and then one of the stamps on this is these little kind of splotches, and again I'm going to stamp off so that it's not quite so dark, like that. Okay, now I can take my multi-purpose adhesive glue and just put a little bit. You don't want a lot, don't want it splotching out. And, oops, this will go right over the hole. There we go, like that. So I've got this pretty open weave ribbon in fresh freesia. So I'm going to cut about, I don't know what that is, about 4 inches. Poke it through the hole. And there we go. And I'm going to take some of the new, this is the new twine. It comes, I have the neutrals pack, and it comes with black and crumb cake, very vanilla, white. I'm trying to think, there's 4 or 5 different rolls in the package. And then there is, I believe there's another set of colors as well. Okay, so I'm just going to use this and tie to hold my ribbon in place with a bow. Oops, some glue on my fingers. All right, so then you can fuss and make your bow as big as or small as you want it to be. And we'll just trim the ends. There we go. Okay. And we're going to use dimensionals on the back of this as well. Never have enough dimensionals. Got some glue on my fingers there. Things keep sticking. Right, so this can go like that. Now, I'm going to add, these are called loose flower flourishes. They are just the cutest little things. They come in 3 of the new in colors. So I'm going to use one of these. So I'm going to use one of the big flowers, and I'm going to use a glue dot to put it on with. Put it right there. And the last thing I'm going to add is a rhinestone. These rhinestones, let's see, do I have an open package? Surely I have an open package. Yes, I do. But, okay, so the rhinestones, you can use one of the big ones, but the middle side, or the next one, actually fits perfectly, oops, in. And if you just kind of get it in the middle, the adhesive will hold it in place. Oops, a little bit. So if you wanted to add a glue dot, you could add a glue dot, but if you get that rhinestone right in the middle, the adhesive will hold it in place to give you a center of the flower. Really pretty. That's the lid. Okay, isn't that pretty? Love how that turned out. Okay. All right, there we go. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions as you're making the card or using this technique, just leave it on a comment either on my blog or under the video. I'm happy to answer and help you with your card. I hope you'll try these new in colors. Aren't they stunning? This fresh freesia, it's just so amazing. While you're here, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You'll get notified when I post videos, which I do at least once a week with different techniques or cards that I've shared that I hope you'll enjoy. And if you are interested in putting an order in, live in Canada, don't have a demonstrator, I'm happy to help you out with that. So you can find the link to my online store on my blog. So thanks everybody for joining me. Happy stamping. Bye.